Is football crazy? Is football mad? That football had just taken away the little bit of sense he had. And it would take a dozen servants to wash his clothes and scrub, since Paul became a member of that terrible football club.
Hello listeners and football fans all over the world, and welcome to the most ambitious episode of the Football Crazy podcast to date. I am your host Jeffrey Gibson, and the reason why this episode is ambitious is because we are going to be reporting all the deadline day moves for Sunderland and for every club in the Premier League. So I guess I better hand over to Larry, the American Premier League expert, so he can give you a roundup of all the Premier League transfers on deadline day. Over to you, Larry.
Thank you, Jeff. And here is the roundup for the Premier League teams on deadline day. Arsenal signed Takahiro Tomiyasu from Bologna, whereas Aston Villa and Brentford had a quiet deadline day bringing in no players. Brighton and Hove Albion were able to bring in two, which were Marc Cucurella from Getafe and Abdallah Sima from Slavia Prague. Burnley were able to bring in Connor Roberts from Swansea City. Chelsea brought in Saul Niguez on loan. Crystal Palace were able to bring in Odsonne Edouard from Celtic. But Everton were unable to bring in any players today. Leeds United were able to strengthen their squad by signing Daniel James for £25 million from Manchester United. Leicester City also strengthened today by bringing in Ademola Lookman from RB Leipzig loan. But Liverpool and Manchester City were unable to bring in any more players today. Manchester United finally confirmed the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo today, whereas Newcastle United, Norwich City and Southampton were unable to sign any new players today. Tottenham Hotspur also added to their squad by signing Emerson Royal for £30 million from Barcelona. But Watford will have to make do with what they have. West Ham United had a productive deadline day by bringing in Nikola Vlasic from CSKA Moscow and Alex Král from Spartak Moscow on loan, and Wolverhampton Wanderers are going to have to settle with the squad they have until January. That's it for this Premier League deadline day roundup. I will be back soon. Back to you, Jeff. I'm off to bed.
Thank you, Larry. See you next time. Now moving on to Sunderland's business on deadline day, and they signed Leon Dejaku from Union Berlin on loan until the end of the season, and we have also signed a goalkeeper called Thorben Hoffmann on a season-long deal from Bayern Munich. That's it for this very special episode of the Football Crazy podcast. We will be back on Thursday with the preview of England's first of 3 World Cup qualifiers, and if we have missed any transfers today we will report them then. So until then, thank you so much for listening, stay safe and enjoy the football.
Is football crazy? Is football mad? That football had just taken away the little bit of sense he had. And it would take a dozen servants to wash his clothes and scrub, since Paul became a member of that terrible football